Well, good afternoon, everyone. Hello, 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 and welcome to Gratitude Happy Hour. Oh my goodness, I see people. I see people, and I see my co-host, John Fiore.
Teri,
Hello, John.
I'm going to try and find this on my phone so I could interact with everybody. Let me turn down the volume there.
Okay.
There's Linda Lemieux. Linda, I don't know if I fit in your T-shirt anymore, honey. I'm eating too much lasagna.
Oh my gosh. Aren't you all so glad I brought John on today so he can bust your chops?
Well, Teri, I was thinking about how I could bust yours, but somehow when I get together with you, you're just too sweet. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it.
John, I've been eating sugar-free mints, so I shouldn't be so sweet now.
Too sweet, Teri. How are you, my friend?
I am doing amazing. I tell you what, if I got any better, I just wouldn't even be here anymore.
Okay. All right.
Just be gone.
I like that.
Yeah,
like that.
It's amazing, this journey. As I was saying before we went on air, I learn every day. I learn from people. I learn from animals, from nature. This place that I'm in right now, I'm in El Paso, Texas, on our journey of healing, the Peace on Earth tour. And this place is amazing. I've never been to El Paso, so I wasn't even sure what it was going to be like. But there are mountains, there's desert, there's just beauty, just beauty.
Yeah, Texas is a really big place and has a lot to offer, huh?
It sure does. Yeah, a lot. So I've been out and about. I've been roaming around. I almost ended up in Mexico. I almost gave Jean a heart attack. And I said, but Jean, I have my passport in my purse. And she goes, but I don't. They wouldn't let me back in.
Teri, I get the feeling I've only landed in Texas on my way to Acapulco. We made a connecting flight there. So I've only landed in an airport, never went outside the airport. But I get this feeling that Texas is a place that people like to have fun. Is that what has been your experience when you go out around in Texas?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of laid back.
Laid back, okay.
Yeah, it is. And I've been in Florida most of my life, John. I've been in that rat race. If the light turns green and you're not in the intersection, you're going to get honked at by the person behind you. They're like, come on, let's go. We got places to go. We got things to do.
Okay.
And here it's like, okay, the light just changed. Now I can go. It's just that more breathing energy.
Okay.
Instead of holding your breath and hoping that you're going to get to where you need to go and do what you need to do. So it's just totally different. And Matthew McConaughey lives here in Texas.
That's how I picture it, Teri. That's kind of like how I feel. And I was unaware of Florida being that way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, well, I say that where I lived in the East Coast of Florida, it's definitely that way. The West Coast is a little more laid back because it's more retirees and that type of community.
Okay.
Where they're not rushing to get to a job on time. They still do the honking, though. I've been over there and been honked at, and I don't know what that is. I mean, Florida is like a mishmash. We have people from all over the country that relocate to Florida. That's their dream, to go to paradise, but they just are impatient, and I'm not an impatient person, so it just grates on me, I guess, when people are like that.
Yeah, I mean, have you found? You know what? It's silly to ask a question I know the answer to. Teri, I know you to. I know from what as many years as I know you, which is about, I think it's coming on 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
When I hang out with you, all I do is feel peace around you. So I like hanging out with you because that's something I've always kind of wished for, hoped for, worked toward. Coming from the life that I used to live in running a business and raising a family. I'm in the Northeast, and you want to talk about rat races? I think we're the center stage of rat races up here, Teri. So,
I've been in your neck of the woods, John.
Yeah. Well,
they dumped iced tea on me and told me to get out.
Well, where I met you, it was is like central to South Jersey, and it is a little bit quieter there, but not very much. That was actually a suburb of Philadelphia, which has its own crazy energy. Right? You got Philadelphia. You're between Philadelphia and New York markets. So that's where there's a lot of doctors, there's a lot of industry, there's a lot of stuff going on in those areas. So there's a lot of people working there, which makes the traffic crazy and all of that stuff. So to cool off, you got to get a nice tea dump done.
You gotta. It's an experience that you'll never forget. And it's unique. It's the only one I've had during this journey, John.
That was the iced tea blessing.
It was
of 2020.
Yeah, it was trying to make me a little sweeter, I think.
I don't know how that we can make you any sweeter, Teri. It was unsweetened tea, but I don't remember you putting sugar in.
You weren't supposed to catch that. Let's say hello to some people.
Who's here?
We have TJ here. Hi, TJ. Thank you for coming in. You were number one in here in the audience, so you win that prize, whatever that is. Deirdre's here. Hello, my darling New Yorker friend from Staten Island. And our beautiful Hope from the UK. Hi, Hope. Oh, it's nighttime for you there. Awesome. Well, you can go to sleep. If John bores you, just go ahead. Feel free to go to sleep.
Well, I promised Teri I was going to be good. Hi, let's say hello to... hi, Gabby. All right, Gabby. Linda. Hi, Linda. And let's see.
Yeah, it's Gabby's morning.
Gabby's in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to get your tail out of bed, Gabby. Let's see. Nikki Sumner. Hi, Nikki. I never met you.
Hi, Nikki. And Robert Dosa.
Who, Teri?
Robert Dosa is here.
Oh, that's an old name that I've known from Spirituality Gone Wild. Robert Dosa. Yeah. And I haven't seen him in a while. I don't see him.
Yeah, he comes on my morning show. See, if you come on the morning show, you'd see him, John.
Okay. Never got to meet Robert Dosa.
Stacy's here. Hi, Stacy. And Tammy.
Oh, I see Carrie. Hi, Carrie.
Carrie who?
Carrie Butcher. Carrie Butcher.
Oh, Carrie. I thought you said Terry. I thought, wait, am I on there?
Carrie.
You see me? We're in a silly mood today, guys.
Yeah, forget about it. I woke up. Teri, I had a tap today because I was too serious. And after I tapped today, I got so giddy. And I was really on today. And I'm saying, I don't know if I could go on any show and not bust chops today. But I promised you I'm going to be good, and I am, because I want to respect your audience here. But
oh, yeah, that was in the contract, John, that I made you sign before you came
on. Gabby says, don't start on me. I've been up since 4 a.m.
Oh, okay. Gabby. Me too, Gabby. Oh, we have Charlie with us. Hi, Charlie. And Christina. And Christina is giving thanks.
Maybe I'm getting a late feed here, Teri, but I'm not seeing Charlie, and I'm not seeing...
Well,
I could be. Let's
are
see.
you lost?
Robin. No, on Enlightened World Network. Is there another?
Yeah, there's an EWN Enlightened Living also. Oh, now I see Carrie. There you are. And Annika Sorensen is from New Zealand. And she says, we're a very small country and a very kind nation. Yes, you are. I have to tell y'all, about 4 years ago, I went to the Global Peace and Prosperity Initiative in Salt Lake City, and I was the coordinator of all the peace ambassadors, and I had hooked up one of our people that I was connected with on Facebook to be the peace ambassador for New Zealand. Well, she couldn't make the journey, so I was the surrogate peace ambassador for New Zealand at that initiative, and that was fun. So then after that, I became peace ambassador for Florida. And I said, that was so much fun. I think I just want to be one too. So what are we looking at?
Okay, so now I see the chat on. Now I see the chat on here.
Oh, good. Yeah, because we get everything here.
Oh, we get everything here. So maybe
whether they're on Facebook or YouTube or Periscope, wherever they might be.
So maybe this is the one I should be following. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Teri, that doesn't usually happen. I'm usually, when I'm on a live, I'm in Zoom, so I click off of Facebook and I go back into the room so I don't see the chat. But
right.
I like this.
I like it too.
You're able to see.
Yeah. You see everybody, no matter where they are.
Okay, so.
Love it. Oh, and Christine and Erica are on with Charlie. Hi, guys.
Deidre, how are you, Dee? How's it going up there in Staten Island? You guys are causing trouble over there. I know it.
Oh, my gosh. Carrie says, Texas is the only state that you can drive 18 hours in and never leave it. Hi, y'all. That's so true.
The only state that's bigger is Alaska, right?
Yeah.
Or is it California north to south? I don't know.
Maybe. I know Florida's long, but it doesn't take 18 hours to drive through it. I've done it in 8. Just saying.
That's because you're a speeder in that little white Angel mobile.
John, don't tell anybody. You'll make them worry. All right. So let's see what else.
Isabel, we're grateful to be here with you too.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's talk some gratitude. You know, I pulled up a couple of gratitude quotes. I like to do that every so often just to see what some people that we might recognize their names might have to say about gratitude. And I found Irving Berlin. Now there's a name. Irving says, got no checkbooks, got no banks. Still, I'd like to express my thanks. I got the sun in the morning and the moon at night.
The sun in the morning and the moon at night. Is that where that came from?
That's where that came from.
Irving
Don't you love that, though? I mean, it's material things that's not what makes you happy. That's not what brings you that feeling inside of peace. You know, John, I got rid of everything that I own. You know that. We had that discussion. It's not the material things. And when I'm studying right now the Course in Miracles, as I started the first of the year, that's one of the things that we look at. You know, the things that we're surrounded by, it only has the meaning that we put in it. It means nothing. It really doesn't.
You know something? We all don't reach that level of awareness of what you're speaking now about material things. I believe that I'm coming into that part of my life now. Later than you. I think you were on the path a little bit earlier than I was. I mean, I was on the path but didn't know it. But anyway, I came from so much programming about earning money and doing and making sure. But I'm on to the next thing all the time. And that's how I woke up today. And I'm saying, stop. And I had to use my EFT to get me back grounded, because I was in this place where I got to do something. And I'm in a place now, Teri, that I actually had to stop and meditate on this one day. I actually manifested where I am right now. I wanted to be down the shore with not a care in the world and money coming in. And you know what? I got exactly what I asked for. And so now that I got it, sometimes I, like it happens to all of us. We get off track, but I try to stay in that space of just being grateful for where I am right now. And I know that I'm shedding years and years of programming, because I was programmed as a little child to work very hard and to keep going and to achieve and to strive and to achieve and to strive. That was my level of my understanding of what it meant to be successful, Teri. And so I'm kind of unlearning that stuff and learning that simplicity works pretty well for me. And so I had to do a little EFT on all of that chatter that was going on in my mind, and it brought me back. And then I told you, it got me pretty giddy, and I was online busting chops with people all day. So, excuse me, Teri.
Sure. Well, let me say hello to Dawn. Dawn Marie Garfield is with us. And Catherine Kovacs.
I don't want to cough in your ear there, kid.
That's okay. Thank you for being such a gentleman.
Yeah, that's right. But so, Teri, okay, let me try and I'm grateful that I have the awareness to understand this stuff now. So if any of you are stuck on being grateful for anything, it's a practice, right, Teri? It's a practice of working it.
Yeah.
I always say, if you don't feel like it's a spiritual practice or even want to use it as a spiritual practice, gratitude is a great strategy. Okay, it's a great strategy, because Teri, let's tell our friends what do we receive when we use gratitude even as a strategy? Let's tell our friends that one.
Using the gratitude as a strategy changes your life. It raises your vibration to express gratitude. Gratitude and love, they're right up there. They're vibrating at that same frequency. So as gratitude is going out from your heart, sincere gratitude, when it's going out from your heart, it's coming back in, because that's the law of attraction. What you get out, what you put out, you get back. So raising your frequency by giving gratitude is such a beautiful thing, because you're making somebody else feel so good. John, every morning we lift up one person that comes in on that morning show, and all of us just pour bucketfuls of love at that person. But we get the blessing, we get the good feeling of being able to do that act of kindness, to lift somebody else up that they may be having a bad day. They may not be feeling very well, whatever the case may be. The angels pick a person every morning and they say, all right, go say I love you to that person. And we all do. And it's so meaningful to each of us to be able to give.
Yeah, Teri, what just came to me is for anybody listening out there that says, you know what? Okay, you guys say that stuff, but it really doesn't work. Well, in my life, it works, Teri. I'm sure
in my life, it works.
It works. It works. So Lifting someone up. Okay. What would be the opposite of lifting someone up? Tearing them down.
Bring them
Can,
down.
can, can anybody can anybody find anything useful out of tearing anyone down? It's just not even useful. So if you're going to choose a path, can we be mindful to choose the path that feels good in ourselves? How I gotta ask, I gotta bring that to people's attention. How does it feel? How does it feel in your body? I mean, hey, look, I've been in dark places, Teri, and so maybe my words, and I'm sorry I did that to anybody out there, and I truly ask for forgiveness, and I forgive myself. But when you spew something that comes from a hateful place, from my experience, you don't even feel good in your body about doing that. So the flip side of that coin is to find something to compliment somebody about. Find something to be grateful. Find the quality in that person that you really like and appreciate, and call it to their attention. So Teri, this stuff is not, to me, it's not rocket science, because if you know anything about energy, okay, it's what you put out, it's what comes back to you. So, Teri, I what I feel is I put out good. I like to put out good because it makes me feel good. If you want to call that selfish, it's just the way I feel good in my body, by putting out good in the world, kindness, helping anybody with a problem if I can, because it just comes back to me in droves. And I could assure people that adopting of taking the higher road and putting out what you feel is coming from your heart will come back to you. Okay, it will come back to you. I do understand that people are in a places of hurt sometimes. Okay, and so we try our best as people that do this kind of work, light workers, to understand where they're at, because anybody that's in a place of gratitude right now has worked through some serious stuff to get there, Teri. So we can understand how they're feeling. So instead of saying to a person, "Why are you always complaining?" we can offer them just a thought or an energy of love, and they'll receive it. Somehow they'll receive it.
Yeah, they will, on that level.
Wherever they're at, right?
And they may not be receiving that anywhere else, John.
Right.
People that are in such pain like that, whether that's an emotional or a physical pain, they're just trying to release that energy. So it's all of this energy coming from them. And what do most people do when you have that type of energy coming at you? You shrink back. You're like, "Oh, I don't want any of that." So you ignore, or you blast them for being that way. If you're going into judgment and criticism, that's what they get most of the time. But if you just step back and just really listen, you'll see what's going on with that energy, and then just say, "I love you. I love you." It changes that person on the inside. Kuan Yin says, "Love is the energy that heals." And it does.
Yeah, Teri, if it's not love, it's something else. So that's just something I like to say. If it's not coming from love, then it may be coming from something else, fear, lack, or some other energy that it's such an easy energy to work with. Well, how can I how can I address this situation with any kind of love or gratitude or joy? And if we ask ourselves that, if you're sincerely looking for to take an approach or the best approach that's good for you and for everyone else, something from love, and I say gratitude and joy are from love, can never be wrong, Teri.
Right.
In any decision making process, if you're doing it from a place of love, it can never be wrong. So I would ask everybody to kind of look into your heart when you're trying to make decisions about something, or how you would like to address someone, or if there's something that someone is saying that you don't agree with, instead of lashing out and hurting them, can you look at that from a different perspective and say, wait a minute, is this my head talking or my heart talking?
Right.
So,
yeah.
which kind of leads us into, Teri, I asked you about tomorrow's inauguration day.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought we could give some conscious awareness to asking higher energies, the angels, our buddies, that can help us with this.
Yeah.
We know what happened last week or 2 weeks ago at the Capitol, and we know that the tensions are on high alert. Okay. Look, I said this to Teri before coming on, guys. People that are protesting, okay, they're not bad people. There is a way, I believe, of doing it in a lawful like manner. You could scream if you have to, but screaming out obscenities at others and looting, rioting, destroying property, that kind of stuff is not the way, as human beings, I feel we should approach our differences. Okay, so we know that just about every city in the country is putting up barriers as we speak right now, Teri. So I'm hoping, I'm going to ask, because you're good at it, much better than I am.
Oh, thanks.
I'm going to ask you to lead us in a short prayer to the angels about, let's put out our request for peace in the country tomorrow, so that we can all look. This has nothing to do with who won the election and who lost, guys. Obviously, a lot of people voted for both candidates, and there's a lot of tensions running high about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But in this country, this is the way we've done things since the get-go, and there's nothing wrong with protesting. However, let's try to settle our differences in a peaceful-like manner as civilized human beings. Let's show the aliens that we do have the intellect to settle our differences in a peaceful manner. We do have that capacity, and we can ask for angelic and divine help with this by just putting out a prayer for peace. Teri, you said you pray for peace every day, right?
Every day, John. Every day and every night for over 230 days, we've been chanting for peace.
Chanting
every
for
night.
peace.
Every night we do a chant that brings in the energy of peace. And we make a declaration every night that we're seeing peace. We do. We can see peace in our world. And that declaration is, I declare that there is peace on earth, and I declare that it begins inside of me. It has to start inside of us. And that's why we're going to be doing a prayer for our nation, for our country, and for our world, to really bring in that energy of peace. and let it begin inside of you. Let that energy grow, because what you intend, it does make a difference. It does go out there and goes into that big soup, the big mix of all of our energies. Whatever frequency people are vibrating at, you're adding to it. John, I used to say, what does it matter? I'm just one person. What does it matter if I'm grumpy today, or if I'm blasting somebody and criticizing and tearing somebody apart today? It's just me. So it doesn't really matter, does it? And oh boy, I learned really fast that every one of us matters. Everybody matters. What you think, what you say, your actions, your thoughts, everything adds to that mix. So do you want to pull that average down of that frequency, or do you want to help us get into that high vibration where peace is possible for the whole world? And that's my question to you. You do matter. And knowing that you matter, now you know it because you've heard it from Teri Angel, you matter. How are you going to proceed? Yeah, that's the question.
Teri, I wonder if people don't realize the power we have to create peace. Okay? We do have that power. It's not a matter of being a goody-goody. To me, it's a matter of the best possible scenario for everyone on the planet. I understand contrast as good as anyone. I understand there's going to be wars, and there's going to be fighting, and there's going to be love, and there's going to be fighting, and there's going to be love, and there's going to be fighting. However, we have the power. We have the power. We hold this power in our energy as part of, as from who we are, Teri. We're part of the divine, okay? And we have the power to create what we want. So if we want to create more peace, we can create more peace. It's that simple. We don't have to leave it to someone else. It's, Teri, I couldn't agree with you more. It starts with us. And so if it starts with you, you can address what are you not peaceful with in your heart, okay? And it's okay to be angry, sad, whatever you got going on in your heart, it's okay to address those emotions, because you're maybe perhaps not in a high vibrational state right now. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. You may be hurting in some way right now. So let this peace that we're about to, but Teri's going to pray. This peace that we're about to send out to the world, fill your heart. Okay?
Yes, absolutely. And I just want to share, Carrie had a really beautiful comment. I'm going to put it up here for everybody to see. See how I can do that, John? It's magic. Carrie says, I couldn't be calmer. My gut, my heart, my intuition tells me all is as it should be. Light workers are being called into action. Resonate. Carrie, that's so true. Our dear Marietta from Florida has taught us, and I say it every day of my life now, everything is working perfectly. Everything is working perfectly. And as long as I can trust that and really hold that belief inside, I know it for a fact that everything is working perfectly. We may not be seeing it the way we think it is perfect, but everything is working perfectly. So thank you, Carrie, for that comment. And Gabby says, no fear. Everything is as it should be.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You know what, Carrie, I pretty much, I 2000% agree with that. And just the other day, Okay, I was in a place watching the rioting of the Capitol, the storming of the Capitol, and I was in a place of shock. Okay, but I tried to process what I was seeing in the days after, and I actually came to the conclusion, well, to the thought that I wanted to thank the people that did it for playing a part in the scenario the way it's unfolding. Because
Mm-hmm.
if we believe everything is exactly as it should be, there are people playing parts in that role, starting from President Trump or whatever, people that chose to storm the Capitol building. And there is that contrast, but everybody on a higher level is playing their role in this, so that we can see as a people how we want to proceed. Okay. And so in some higher cosmic way, I thank everyone who played a part in it. It doesn't mean they shouldn't be brought to justice. We're a nation of laws, and they will be dealt with accordingly. But on some higher level of consciousness, they maybe chose to come here in this lifetime and to show us this agent of change is what's going on, Teri. I see a lot of change going on.
A lot of change.
To have change, you got to have some ugliness, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so perhaps these people are playing that part, and in some crazy way, okay, I want to thank them for that, because yes, we do believe that everything is exactly as it should be. And I do believe, Teri, with your daily prayers of peace, that I'm seeing lots of some. What do I choose to see? I see people trying to come together. And I see people trying to say, hey, look, we don't want to tolerate violence. We don't tolerate that stuff. We got to learn to to settle our differences in a better way, so that we can leave a legacy to our children, our grandchildren. What kind of world do we want to leave to the next generation?
Mm-hmm.
I believe if you look back, listen, I'm from the 50s, Teri, and I've seen how each generation has tried to do that much better. I choose to see that it's getting better. I don't see that it's getting worse. People say, oh, this country's in trouble. I think we're coming together pretty good as a people.
Yeah.
But that's our choice. That is up to us to do. Okay? As peaceful people that choose the path of peace instead of anger and destruction, we have that ability to be examples of what we would like it to be, right, Teri? So I'm sorry, I'm starting to babble again.
No, I love what you're saying, John. I was pulling out some old journals as I was leaving my permanent residence in Florida and coming on this journey. And one that I found was from back in January, a year ago. And I'd like to read this. This was before COVID. This was before any of this, what hit the fan. But my journal entry was, thank you, life, for bringing me those obstacles and difficulties that you brought to me. I don't know what the ultimate plan is for me, but thank you for letting me fall sometimes. I still trust you. And I think that's important for us to really think about is, when things start going haywire and it looks like the world is in just a big place of chaos, our sense of security and safety gets threatened. So if we can look at everything like you were saying, say thank you that this happened, because it brought more awareness to things. It brought up some things inside to be healed as we were going through it. If we can look at every obstacle and every barrier that comes our way with those kind of eyes and say, thank you for that experience. You know, that was something that was there obviously for a reason. And I still trust you. I still trust everything's working perfectly. And, you know, it's not for me to say that it wasn't supposed to happen that way. It was just for me to understand the lesson and the blessing of going through that time, of experiencing whatever the experience was. So I think this too is something that we can all go there with. We can say, okay, it happened. You know, we can't change it. You can never go back and change the events that happened, but we can change our perspective and looking at it with eyes of love instead of eyes of criticism and judgment and doing all the shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
Yeah, putting blame, right?
Yeah,
Terry?
right.
Yeah,
Not playing the blame game and not going into victimhood.
right.
Yeah.
Terry, I learned probably after my strokes from you, or, you know, everything happens for us. And I couldn't really understand, wait a minute, how can something so horrible be for us? Well, you just answered that. So if you live in a place of trust, knowing that source God is taking care of us in some way, you will start to see that at play, because if you live in that, come from that place of trust, everything is exactly as it should be. You start to trust the process more, Terry, and you begin to understand it a little more. I believe you were at that place long before I was. So I learned from my strokes, and then meeting you and meeting so many of the people right here on this chat. Carrie used to be on with Debbie daily, and I listened to, you know, your chats. I listened to Terry. I listened to Karen Palmer. And then some of the things I hear Dee say and Linda Lemieux, everybody's got these sparks of beautiful wisdom that I pick up on. And I don't mean to leave anybody out, but I'm just, I gather. Everybody comes up with something that I learned for. And I don't take that lightly, because that means everything is working for me. I get to be in a place in your presence and these folks, these beautiful people, where I get to learn and share from you too. So we're all here doing this together. Nobody is the guru up here.
Right.
So I'm honored to
We're
be
all
here with
equal.
you guys.
Yeah, we're all equal. And, you know,
I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, and there may be moments when, you know, John will say something and you're like, oh my God, that's profound. And there may be times when Deirdre will say something and everybody's just like, wow, I get it. So it's like we're all equal. We're all, as Ram Dass says, walking each other home. And home is in here. It's in our hearts. It's who we truly are as spirit beings. So yeah, there's no room for comparison. There's no room for competition. And that's where the judgment and the criticism comes from. It's when we get out of our heart and start going into our head. Then the problems come to be. It's like that one comedian says, that's when the fight started.
Yeah, Terry, it's not comfortable to be in this head.
No, it's not.
I find life very easy when I just stay in my heart.
Yeah.
So that's why, you know, I'm one of those guys that uses a little EFT to get back to it, because when you get in this head, you get in trouble.
Right. Yeah. And it's that way for all of us. When we're not coming from a heart-centered place, then we're no longer coming from love. We're coming from all of that human ego. And the ego is not bad. It's not the enemy. But when we're focused on what that's talking to us about, we're not focusing on what I call God, source, spirit, call it whatever you want to call it George. You know, it doesn't matter what the name is. The highest being that exists is source energy. And when we come from that place, we're coming from that soul-centered heart that only wants the best for everybody. And that's what we're doing here today. We're coming today to show some gratitude for the experiences that we've had and ask for prayers for our country, for our government, for this beautiful world that we live in, and for Mother Gaia. You know, we're all walking on her back, using the resources, learning and growing every day. But how often do we just stop and say thank you? Thank you to our Mother Earth for providing everything that we need to survive in this human body. So we want to give gratitude. This is a show of gratitude. I want to definitely start out with gratitude to our dear Mother Earth and the beauty of her, and just honor and respect her and come from that heart-centered place of, I love you, saying that to our mother and hearing what's returned to us from her when we do shower her with respect and with love. And we saw a lot of that in this past year with the pandemic, when things quieted down and there wasn't so much of the resources being used, and the abuse that happens every day with people just not honoring what's there. It's there for us, but we take it for granted sometimes and we abuse it and misuse it. So I just want to start with all of us giving some gratitude to Mother Earth and just thanking Gaia for always taking care of us, always having our back, and allowing us to keep going every day. Sun comes up and it sets, and the moon comes up, and that's the cycle of life. And it will be something beautiful if we focus on the beauty of our earth. So let's focus on our heart right now. I teach a method called the heart-brain coherence. Our heart fires, physical heart fires neurons just like our brain does. So what does that say? It's communicating. It's sending out energy, messages. And we've learned through Heart Math Institute that we can connect those two organs. We can connect our physical heart and our brain, and they can talk. And then we're really coming from a heart-centered place. There's 3 steps to this. You place your hand on your heart, because where you're touching on your body, that's where your focus goes. That's where your attention is. So touch your heart center and slow down your breath. And slow it down, like to a count of 5. And then release it the same way. Slowly, easily, just let it relax out your body. And the 3rd step, when you take your next breath in, add in something that makes you feel so good. If you can think of a beautiful hug, a warm hug that somebody gave you, or a sunset that you watched, or a sunrise, or just a child's beautiful smile and giggle, an animal that's so loving unconditionally, whatever it takes to put you in that really good place inside. Just focus on that feeling that happens and continue with the slow breathing in and out. And as you're doing that and focusing on the gratitude and the love, I'll explain that this is going to put you in a higher brain state. This puts you in actually the highest brain state that we know of, which is called the gamma state. And in that gamma state, you're able to heal your own body. You're able to talk to the cells in your body and heal and repair anything that's going wrong in those cells. You anti-age. You actually repair the telomeres on the cells, which is where the body breaks down and you start the aging process. You're able to retain. You can remember whatever is going on while you're in that brain state. And your frequency is raised to the highest that it's going to go to, because you're focusing on the energy of love and gratitude. So one more breath in, deeply and slowly. And let's take a moment to do some affirmations. as you hold that energy in, that energy of love, give some of that love to yourself. Say to yourself, I am worthy. I am enough. I am healthy. I am magnificent. I am that. I am. And as we are in this very peaceful place right now, let's invite in the energy of the angels. I'd like to call on Archangel Raphael to be present. Raphael is the angel of healing, and this is what we need at this moment. Each person, each individual needs that healing energy to clear away emotions, to clear away anything that's happening physically, and to clear away the fear, the anxiety, and bring a calmness and a peace to our world. I'd like to call on Archangel Michael, the protector angel, the guardian. And I'm asking Michael, with all of these incidents that have happened, all of the chaos and the turmoil that's been going on, I'd like to ask Michael if we could clear the energy, not just for us that are here individually, but as a collective, to clear the collective energy of that intense fear and anger and turmoil and judgment and criticism. And as we clear the energy, I'm asking for Michael to cut the cords, to cut any energy that's still lingering of that anger, of the fear, of the anxiety. Just do that complete release for the area of our nation's capital, for our entire United States, and for anyone and any place in the world that's in conflict, that we can bring more peace into each area where there was conflict going on. And I'm asking Archangel Gabriel to help us have more clarity, have more understanding, to see what our role is in changing the frequency of the planet and bringing in peace. And I invite Archangel Uriel. Uriel is the angel that helps us transform and transmute energy, as well as grounding. As we ground and balance into the earth, just pay attention to your energy field right now, and just with your next breath, send it down into Mother Gaia, feeling that beautiful grounding energy, and bringing it back up through the bottom of your feet, and just let it sit with your root chakra for a moment. Let it strengthen the root. And let's ask for that to happen with our country, for the root of our country to be strengthened, to be balanced, to be centered, clearing away any wobbling, any anxiety, any conflict and fear. And I want to thank these beautiful angels who are there whenever we call on them, and come in powerfully as we ask for that which we need to clear the energy of our world, to hold us up in love, and to give us the assurance that everything is working perfectly. I have so much gratitude for the angelic realm for showing up for us. I have so much gratitude for everyone hearing these words hold peace in your heart. Hold that mantra in your heart that there is peace on earth and that it does begin inside of me, begins inside of each person that inhabits the earth. And it's your choice. It's your choice if you add to the illusion of the separation and the conflict and the fear, or if you really go into your heart and find that peace that's inside and shed that light out over our world. And it's my prayer that we will all do that and raise that frequency. And thank you. Thank you for being here with us today. And John, I so appreciate you and thank you for asking for us to do this. It's such a blessing to be able to work with the angels and to have their assurance and have their blessing as they come in to touch each of our lives. So much love for you, my friend.
Teri, oh, thank you. Wow, I went really deep there. I had to come back because you had me. I was definitely in another dimension. But yeah, Teri, thank you for leading us in this prayer. I know that I think I've told you 100 times that every time I ask the angels for whatever it is that I need, I always get an answer. I always get an answer, and I just want to bring that awareness to everybody to be aware that this help is there for you. Okay? It's so easy to fall away and to forget that you're not alone. Okay? After my ordeal of strokes, when I met Teri, I began to, at some level, I always wanted to have this support. And when I met Teri and she helped me, she helped me to be aware of this, to ask for their help. And I knew that, okay, if you could ask for your help personally, you could ask for help with whatever it is that you would desire in this world, okay? So I had thought that tomorrow being inauguration day and that tensions are running high, and it's understood that both sides have something to say, and that's okay, that we can all spend the day tomorrow at least being at peace with what is, and that doesn't have to be physical violence and disdain and anger and fighting and destruction. It doesn't have to be that way, okay? Because we could ask for this divine help. And Teri, that is, wow, at the drop of a dime, you could just lay a prayer out there like nobody I know. So thanks for inviting me on the show, Teri. I'm sure you got to get
for being here.
You got to get to your next. What are you going to be chanting tonight?
Yes, we chant every night at 9:00 Eastern.
And you'll be with KP, right, Karen?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Karen's my co-host.
Send them my love, and
I sure will.
And the whole. Thank you, Thaddeus, Teri, and the angels. I'm sure the country thanks you too.
And our Karen Palmer will be my co-host right here next week. She's going to do Gratitude Happy Hour with me next week, and so looking forward to that. So many blessings to all of you.
So many blessings.
Hold that peace in your heart. Just hold it in your heart and make that your morning prayer and your nightly prayer. I go to bed every night and I say, okay, God, I'm going to wake up in the morning and I'm going to see more peace in the world. So that's my prayer every night. It's just to lift up the world and bring that reality to our physical eyes. We see it with our spiritual eyes, but I want to see it with my physical eyes too. So thank you all for showing up today. Carrie, Gabby, Hope, Deirdre, Linda, Suzanne, everybody that was here. I love you all so much. All the beautiful peas showed up to the pea pod today. And Christina, I see you there. Jennifer, Oh my gosh, Isabel, Grace, Isis, I love you. And I know that Erica and Christine were here. Annika from New Zealand. Thank you for coming on the show today. You all are just beautiful. Thank you so much. I love you.
And Teri, thanks for having me.
And John,
That's
I
it.
end every one of my shows with acknowledging the spirit that's in you. That's that same spirit that's in me. Do you know that word?
Namaste.
And then we add y'all after
Y'all.
that.
Namaste, y'all.
That's the way I end every show that I do. So
Okay.
if you want to play along,
Namaste, y'all.
we're going to say that to everybody. Namaste, y'all.
Namaste, y'all.
I love you so much.
I'm from Southern Italy.
Well, that's Southern enough to say it.
Teri, I love you. All right. I'll see
I
you
love
guys.
you, John. Bye, everybody.